online charcuterie boards are all the rage. So I thought I'd take that idea and turn it into a salad board. So I've got a beautiful bowl of romaine lettuce here. I've also got some mixed baby greens. I bought it at the organic store, and it's got about 8 or 10 different kinds of greens in it. So when you're building a charcuterie board, or in this case, a salad board, you want to think about several things. You want a variety of colors, a variety of textures and tastes, a variety of serving vessels, so that you have a beautiful array. Now, I've seen online when people have done charcuterie boards, they've done like all one color, or like they'll have all the red meats and then white cheeses and then green stuff, and there you got the Italian flag. So I'm going to mix mine by colors and textures. I'm going to start with my largest containers at the back. So I've got a bowl of grape tomatoes. And one of the things you want to consider when you're putting things into bowls, it's better to use a small bowl and fill it up. And it looks more abundant, more generous on your part to your guests, than to use a large bowl and say, have it only half full. Okay, so you want it to look abundant. I've got some grapes. Now that might not be traditional in everybody's idea of salad, but when you have things like chicken on your salad, it's very common to have fruits as well, apples, grapes, strawberries, raspberries. Okay. I've got some ham cubed up. And I've got my diced chicken. I've got some little carrot matchsticks. Okay, you don't need to put all these things on here. I have a lot of options to show you, so just pick what you want. I have some yellow and red bell peppers. And you can also have your board spill over. It just looks more abundant when you put it on the countertop for your guests. I've got some green olives. I've got black olives. I'm trying not to put colors next to each other or like items. And then I've got some Greek olives as well. I've got avocado that I diced up and I tossed with just a little bit of lime juice so it will stay fresh and not turn brown. I've got some sliced strawberries. Now that goes really well with the chicken. I've got some shredded cheddar cheese. I've got some of my sweet and salty pecans that I made the other day for another purpose. I always make a large batch because I love them on salads, but I also just like to snack on them. I've also got some smoky almonds that I made for a football game that we were watching. I've got some sesame sticks, okay? Now, this doesn't look quite the way I would want it to. So actually, I want to pull out the idea of a charcuterie board here in which some things are just on the board. So I'm going to take, I've got some sliced Havarti cheese. I just did it into little strips for the salad. So I'm going to do a mound of that. And my cherry tomatoes, I'm actually just going to spill them out onto the board. Stack them up if I can get them too high. It looks a little more abundant again. I'm going to do the same with my grapes. So I'm going to start rearranging items here. Runaway grape. Okay. So now I've got a little more room here. I could do the same with the olives. So maybe I will put the olives right here. We have many debates in our household about what's the best olive. I like them all. My husband does not like green. My daughter likes green. So I did a little bit of everything. Okay, now I can start tucking other items in around this. And I can actually probably fit most of it onto the board now if I want to. We can bring that in a little bit. We can bring our avocado up. Bring our strawberries up. Could even probably get both of these on here. And then I also have, no, I'm going to put one down because I've got some pepperoni here too. I like to have a variety of proteins available. So I actually think I'm going to leave both of these down. And I'm just going to kind of shingle this out. I'm leaving it whole because they're small slices. And the beauty of doing a salad board like this, you can bring in any flavors you want. You could, instead of the chicken I did, which I poached it in some chicken stock with a little bit of butter and some fresh tarragon and fresh thyme, you could make it more a teriyaki chicken. You could bring in a salad dressing that has peanut or sesame flavor in it to bring in that Asian. You could bring in crispy wonton strips or crispy tortilla strips. So you can change this up a lot just by what ingredients you choose. I've got some sliced hard-boiled eggs. So you can see, as you start assembling, you might change it up, what goes where. And then I've got 2 dressings for my guests. I've got a ranch and just a vinaigrette, homemade, both. I also like to offer up some vinegar and oil. Now this happens to be a dark cherry balsamic vinegar. It's delicious. And then of course you want to have salt and pepper available. And then we have our lettuce. And there you have what is actually a very large salad board. But again, you could take it out. If you don't like hard-boiled eggs, take them out. You could do salami instead of pepperoni. You could do turkey instead of chicken. Different kinds of cheeses, whatever you have in the refrigerator. Maybe you have cucumbers or radishes. You can put lots on here. You could put baby boiled potatoes and lightly steamed green beans and canned tuna and have an option to make an Niçoise salad. So it's really about mixing together the flavors that you like or that you think your guests will like. And then I would serve this with some warm crusty rolls, butter, and a bottle of good white wine. And this would be a delicious luncheon for family and friends, but it also can be a large spread for game day if you want to have something on the lighter side. And like I said, charcuterie boards are all over the internet. And I actually saw somebody, I have a 12-foot counter in my kitchen. This person had an 8-foot counter. It was not quite as wide as mine, but they filled up the entire counter. They covered it all with a beautiful white cloth. And then they put out various boards, and one had meats, and one had cheeses, vegetables, fruits, spreads, nuts, dried fruits. So it's kind of what you want to do. So this is just kind of a tweak on a charcuterie board, but going into a salad bowl. And then I have salad bowls here for my guests so they can just pick their lettuce, pick their toppings. And then I went online and bought a lot of these little spoons so you can put them into the bowls for your guests to dish up. I also bought some of these little knives. So if you're doing a charcuterie board, these are great for spreads. And so you would just put spoons in all, or forks maybe for some of the items like the cheese and the salami or pepperoni. And there you have it.